Hey, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to draw a simplified version of Dewey Duck's head, which was the foundation for the finished drawing that you're seeing right now. To work with me on this drawing, you'll need four things. First, a pencil. Second, an eraser. Third, a border template which can be downloaded from a link in the description of the video. It's a perfect square, so if you wanted to, you could measure and draw a perfect square of your own, of any size, on a piece of copy paper or drawing paper, and that would work. Fourth would be an optional item, this reference sheet, which can be downloaded from the link in the description of the video. However, if you just prefer to follow along and draw with me, then you don't really need it. So off we go. Let's draw a simplified version of Dewey Duck's head. The first thing I'm going to do when drawing this simplified version of Dewey Duck's head is to determine the size of the circle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down from my top border. I'm going to make a judgment for negative space, and I'm going to draw a horizontal line here, and I want the top of his head to touch that line. Moving over here to the right, I'm going to look at my border. I'm going to come in and make another judgment for negative space. And I'm going to draw a vertical line about here. I want it to be about this close to my right border. Once again, I'm looking at my negative space. Now, over here on the left, it's a little more challenging, and I'm going to put a mark about this far away from my left border. Once again, I'm drawing a vertical line like this. And then I need to leave room for his beak, so at the bottom border, I'm going to come up a distance that is about something like this, and I will draw a horizontal line. Now, by doing that, you can kind of see that I have this square developed like this. And we know a circle is going to fit within a square. So what I want to do is draw a circle that touches those four marks that I made. So I'm going to sketch like this, nice and light and loose. I'm going to go around several times, and I'm going to sketch in a circle that once again touches those four marks. If my circle is not quite the right size, I'm not going to erase. I'm just going to keep going around and around until it grows to become the right size. And I'm thinking something like that looks pretty good. Okay, nice circle, as you can see. All right, I want to do a center line to show me where the center of his face is. Now I'm going to come down to the bottom of my circle, and I'm going to put a mark right at the very bottom of my circle right here, just nice and light like that. Now I want this circle to curve like this because his head is going to be slanted, and I'm going to draw a curving line like this going across my circle from top to bottom like this here. Now I'm taking a look at that. I like that pretty well. And once again, that'll show me where the center of his face is going to be. All right, next thing I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and draw in a shape for the top of his beak. So I'm going to travel up my circle to a spot that's about right here, and I'll put a little mark right there. Hopefully you can see that. It's nice and light, and that's just showing me where I want to start this top portion of his beak. Okay, so I'm going to start here. I'm going to curve up, and I'll stop when I hit that center line for a moment like that. Okay, now once I hit my center line, I'm going to want to curve downward, becoming closer to the bottom of my circle, about that close. Then I'm going to change direction. I'll have it curve up, like that. Okay, now let me go over that just a little bit darker so you can see the top section of his beak. Just like that. Okay, now it's kind of a complicated line. Take your time when you do it. All right, now I'm going to draw the side and bottom. So from this point here, I'm going to continue up my circle to a spot that's about right here. And I'm going to draw a line slanting downward like this to a spot that's about right there. Okay. Now, before I finish off this beak, I'm going to draw a horizontal line looking at my bottom border, and I want the bottom of his beak at its closest point to touch that line right there. Okay, so I'm going to slant downward like this. And right before I hit that line, I'm going to stop about like that. And then I'll curve this down and I'll hit about right there. Okay, then I'll just bring this down also and connect. Okay, now let me go over that just a little bit darker so you can see that well. I don't want to press too hard, but I want you to see what I'm doing here. Okay, and that is the simplified shape we're going to use for his beak. All right, very good. Now I'm going to put in a couple other lines curving across his head. So from the top of his beak, I'm going to travel upwards to a spot that's about right here. I'm looking at that. Okay, that looks about right. I'll mark that right there. And also from where this beak touches my circle, I'm going to travel up to a spot that's about right there. Okay, that looks good. Now what I want to do is I want to draw a curving line between those two marks like this, and then it's going to curve up, out, and over to the end of his head about right there. Okay, now let me go over that just a little bit darker. Okay, good. Now I'm going to travel up. From here, I'm going to go up about that far. And about right there. I'm going to draw another line basically parallel to that slanted line that I already drew like this. And this will come up, over, curving, and touch the side of his head about right there. Okay, that looks pretty good. And we'll use those lines later in this drawing. Okay, next, I'm actually going to put on a simple shape for his hat. So I'm just going to continue this line downward, curving it downward like this. I'm going to be very close to my left border, and I'll just curve this and connect it like that. And that will be for the brim of his hat. Okay, a couple other details and we'll wrap this up. Now I'm going to draw right here, basically just a little lower than his beak line. I'm going to draw a little section of his cheek, just a curving line like that. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the shape of his eye. It's going to be quite close to the side of his head, starting about here. It's going to curve up, get a little further away from the side of his head, and then it's going to touch that line right there. Okay, that's the side of the eye. And then right here, I will draw and bring it up just like that. And that's going to give me the shape of eye number 1, just like that. Okay, good. Now, coming over here, I'm going to be looking at this top beak line, and I'm going to come down to a spot that's about right here. And I'm going to draw, this is another line for his second cheek, and it's going to come over like this and touch about like that. All right. Now the last thing I need to do is I need to draw his second eye. Now it's going to look a lot bigger than the first, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it about right here. It's going to curve up. I'm going to get close to my center line, about that close. I'm going to curve it away, up, and stop like that when I'm hitting that curving line right there. Okay, very good. Now this eye is quite wide at the bottom, so I'm going to put that in right, the bottom of it's going to be about right here. And I want to make sure I don't draw it straight up and down. And I'm going to sketch like this. You can kind of see that motion right there. And we'll bring this up, over, and come to the top just like that. Okay, very good. And that is a simplified version of Dewey Duck's head. And now I'm ready to move on to the details. So, how did yours turn out? I'm sure that if you were patient and careful, your simplified version of Dewey Duck's head looks great. Remember, the hard thing for young artists to do is to figure out how to get started. But if you've worked with me, you've got that all figured out. Your drawing is accurate in terms of size and proportion, and now you're ready for the details. You can find the details on this reference sheet, which can be downloaded from a link in the description of the video. Don't forget to use your simple shapes as a guide to help you know where to put the details and about how big they should be drawn. As you draw the details, erase the simplified shapes. Thanks again for stopping by my channel, and don't forget to keep on drawing.